I can change that though. And we're good. Alrighty. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? This is Freehold Pub Podcast, episode 4, with an asterisk. Kind of late, we've been gone for 2 weeks, I understand. My name is Lord Shax. I'm here joined by McCoy and Abyssal.
What's up?
We are here to discuss the last 2 weeks of overall craziness we've got
Info
from...
explosion?
Yeah.
Info
Just
explosion.
pure craziness we've got from Bungie regarding, like, everything. For starters, E3, that trailer seeing Gaul completely just make us his bitch was kind of fucked. Go ahead.
He legit 300 us. He did this to Sparta.
Oh yeah,
and kicked
he's
us off of
Spartan the fuck out of us.
He's Spartan the fuck out of us. Which is actually funny considering they're actually like Cabal kind of modeled after like Romish titles and shit like that.
But he wasn't about. He was straight up like, "You guys die." Shooting you off the fucking cliff. I am salty. It had to be a Titan. That annoys me a lot. Had to be a Titan.
It seems the most realistic, though. Honestly, yeah.
How?
I mean, Titans would just get kicked in the face. It just happens. Seems like a legit thing.
I think it'd be a hunter more than anything. He probably already killed the hunter. Probably crushed him already.
Oh my goodness.
Stepped on him. That's all he had to do. Anyway, so in that reveal trailer and stuff that we saw quite a few interesting things. One of the things that stood out to me was, again, we have another look at like the Archstrider. The trailer showed exactly what Gaul finally actually looks like. We saw like an outline of his body before. Didn't really give us much, but seeing him in his Banely ways was kind of cool to see.
It's weird how he kind of looks like an angel type thing with the whole white and then the wings and then
right.
Kind of also reminds me of the speaker, you know, how the speaker's in the all white garb and everything, you know. So it's kind of interesting how that might tie, especially since it seems like they kidnapped the speaker or whatever.
Yep.
So I wonder if Gaul's actually trying to become the Cabal speaker or whatever. That'll be interesting.
It also makes sense because White, he has that angelic look, and he is the chosen one apparently, so it does kind of make sense that that's the look he's going for. But yeah, oh, go ahead, yourself.
Oh no, I didn't say anything.
No. Yeah, so after seeing the reveal trailer and stuff, we got a little bit more news from Bungie regarding like the setup and the build for the Archstrider, which everyone was kind of excited for. People who were Blade Dancers in year 1 and year 2, and some of year 3, kind of feel like the super was crap, which it was. It was pretty terrible, actually. Not even a discussion about it. It was a really, really bad super.
Well, it was godly in year 1, and then it got hit with the nerf hammer pretty bad. The nerf hammer.
It got destroyed. Which me, who actually was a Blade Dancer in year 1, it kind of hurt, to be honest. Just to see it like become complete crap. But I must say, honestly, I am actually looking forward to seeing the Archstrider in action firsthand and using it.
It looks like Darth Maul to me. It looks like you're legit a Sith Lord just running around.
Right? Well, see, it's funny because like you look like a Sith Lord, and like we talk about that, and like the day before or the week before we got the Star Wars Battlefront trailer, and you see Darth Maul do the exact same thing the Archstrider does. Yep. Like the whole spin with his lightsaber. Yeah, I was like, wow, that looks creepily, like eerily ironic and similar.
It's a partnership. It was planned. They're trying to push Star Wars, the Star Wars agenda. Lucasfilms is everywhere. It's a conspiracy.
Right. Matt, McCoy, anything to add?
Yeah, how do you feel about the trailer?
About the trailer?
Seeing Gaul and everything?
I was kind of afraid that we weren't going to get to see exactly how you know, anything after the events after Homecoming where Gaul apparently kills us or whatever, so it destroys us. But I'd be good to see us getting, you know, drop kicked off the ship. It was a pretty good. It was very rewarding for me. I'm glad we finally got to put a I don't know,
something
that, I guess.
Yeah, something I did want to also mention, if you actually notice in the kind of the more recent like PlayStation, like Twitter little trailers and everything, you actually see that your Guardian is holding his ghost while Cabal is like throwing you around. I mean, while Gaul is throwing you around in that trailer.
Huh? I didn't even see that. That's
yeah, people froze like Instagram screenshots of it, and you actually could see in the Titan's hand he's holding his ghost. And when Gaul throws you to the edge right before he's gonna kick you off, when he like flings you over there, you actually see you lose grip of your ghost, and your ghost falls over the side off the ship.
Oh, that's depressing.
And then after that is when, you know, he just puts his foot on your face and is like, "This is Sparta."
One thing, like another thing about that, which is right, that's actually kind of depressing now. One thing I do realize though, that's just kind of weird. That's the first time we physically see our Guardian actually lose. Because, like, we were heralded as, like, a god, practically. Like, that's why Gaul is destroying us, because, like, we've kind of wrecked everything that's been going in front of us. And, like, this is, like, we're vulnerable because, like, we've never actually lost before. We straight up actually get pretty bitched by Gaul. Which is just, yeah, that's completely new for us. I think it's good to see us kind of, like, have to rebound and see how we do in the story, the campaign and stuff.
I think it's interesting on how personal, because it's what Gaul pulls off is more personal than I guess any other tragedy that has happened before, because I think the closest thing to just the city losing and Guardians in general losing was the whole thing that happened with Crota on the moon, when apparently everybody got wiped out on that, and we actually had to retreat from the moon and everything. But that wasn't as personal. This is direct, like, our home is gone, our legit power is gone. It wasn't just like we just lost a bunch of people.
Yeah. Well, I think that I'm actually kind of happy for it, just because, yeah, it's a good, I guess, rebound story.
So I already just want to kill Gaul because he put his fucking foot on my face, so...
Yeah, he Spartan kicked the shit out of me.
That's just personal right there. It's not even that he destroyed the vault, it's not that he destroyed the city, it's that he put his fucking foot on my face.
Speaking of vault, in the trailer, you see a warlock go into a vault and grab a weapon. I found that very interesting. Very interesting.
What, on the farm or in the
No,
tower?
it's in a vault. Like, they're straight up in a vault, and you see the warlock gear up. Like, he looks like he wields like a pulse rifle or like a shotgun or something.
Yeah, if you actually look at all the trailers, that's actually, if you remember a clip before where it showed Shax with the raise lighter on his back, he's standing from the door, it's that door. So I think you and Shax open up that door so you could get weapons and gear up. I don't know why you weren't already geared up before, but I guess we'll see that on launch or beta.
Honestly, what that could mean, to me personally, I think that's after we get our asses whooped.
You think so?
I think it's after we get our shit kicked in, we struggle to find the rest of the people, and then we just get our shit together, like, hey, let's go try to fight this guy again, and then something else happens.
Well, I don't know, because if you look at one of the other clips, after you get kicked off, you they show, you know, when you're limping after you lost your light, you're limping out into the wilderness, away from, like,
oh, I guess that's true. Maybe it is before. Which is weird. Why would it be before? Why? Like, that's...
Well, because it matches up with that leak we saw before with the Mega Blocks, where Shax was apparently fighting Cabal in the hangar.
True. What it could
and
be
if you
is...
notice in the beginning of where they show off the homecoming
you're
mission,
coming out of...
You're actually... The hangar,
Yeah. Because they did say that's not the very beginning of the mission, so there could be a part that we missed that they'll give us for the beta that we'll play, and that'll explain that whole cutscene thing, where we do gear up.
I want to say that, you know, yeah, I agree with that. Like, how basically, you know, we didn't have our gear on us for some reason, and then, you know, we have to go get gear when we find everything happening. You know, maybe we didn't have time to grab our gear from the vault. Obviously, we didn't because they get destroyed before our very eyes with that effect. But you know, I'm one of that. You know, somehow we were derogued or whatever you call it, and we have to grab emergency gear. So maybe it's an emergency bonus.
Unless I'm mistaken.
The Vanguard gear is all right there anyway, because you know the Vanguard rep was right there in the hangar. So maybe we're just grabbing the spare Vanguard weapons, you know?
There's an option.
Yeah, I think we're just going to the reserves, and for whatever reason we didn't have weapons, maybe because the vault system got messed up or whatever. Because you think about it, our weapons are like copies, they're like engrams and shit that we get from the vault, like data almost. So I think if they brought down the vault system or whatever, it got damaged or attacked, then we wouldn't have our stuff. So we have to physically go into and get the actual weapons, I guess, from the Vanguard vault or whatever.
That makes sense. It's valid.
Because I mean, it's lore. It's in the the Grimoire in the lore that there's multiple thorns, that everybody's running around with thorns.
Yeah.
And Malfinsure was complaining about it, so I think it matches up.
Yeah, no, it's highly possible. Oh, go ahead.
No, you sense when I'm about to talk. I don't even get anything out of it. You just have like that spidey sense. Go for it.
No, what I was gonna say is, with all of that being said, I guess it kind of leads to our next thing is, well, actually no, one thing, actually a question I have regarding that is, if we lose all of our weapons and stuff, does that, I guess, no, it explains the new look of weapons because we like rebuild, but like, do we completely lose like all like the faction weapons and stuff? Like, are Suros weapons going to look the same? Are they going to be different? I'm kind of curious in that because like Suros has a certain feel, right? They're like, they look sleek. So would like the new Suros weapons be different, or would they be the same? Or like,
well, haven't we seen some of the Suros weapons in the
trailer?
We
saw like a Suros
Titan
Scout, wasn't it? I think a Scout rifle.
Yeah, we saw like a Suros Scout. I believe we also saw like a auto rifle that the Titan was wearing, but I don't know if that was. It was like a Crucible Suros thing because it had the Crucible symbol on it, the new Crucible like Griffin thing on it. But it looked like definitely a Suros auto.
Yeah, no, it could be.
And honestly, even that Sweet Business looks like it might be a Suros.
That one looks nice.
Because it's the same color scheme.
Yep, true. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's exotic.
I want to know where this new foundry, speaking on that, came from. Vice?
Oh,
the new,
Vice.
Green and black
thing?
Yeah,
that's interesting. It's different, that's for sure.
Yeah. Ooh. But, so, that Borealis, though. The new PlayStation exclusive sniper.
That looks amazing.
Elements.
That is going to be so much fun. I'm going to be using that probably. Well, besides, but depends on my build. Oh, I got it. Depends on my build. If I'm going to go Demolition, I'm obviously not going to do that, but,
I'm tempted to go with that, but I kind of really want to test out the new grenade launchers because, you know, it's a new shiny new device, so I want to see how they go.
Yep. Exactly how I feel.
I think the ship looks pretty cool too, the new PlayStation exclusive ship.
Yeah, it does, but
Apex or whatever.
But I feel like it's gonna just be the generic look of like another ship like they did this year. How it's like, I
hope they don't do that. I hope it's more varied, I guess. There's obviously always gonna be some that
look the same.
That are same model but different color scheme because you know there's only so much you can do.
Yep.
But so far I've liked all the exclusive ships, like our last PlayStation exclusive ship, even though it's a model that they've used before. I like the whole white and blue on it. So.
Yeah, the model actually, it's actually a cool ship. Like it's, colors work. I think it's actually, I like it personally anyway.
Feel free to jump in whenever, McCoy. I know I tend to talk a lot.
Oh no, it's
very
fine. I'm taking the sniper. I'm just not. Is that all we're getting for exclusives? Is my question.
So it's a sniper. It's armor sets again. It's the ship. That's it. It's practically what it is now.
Yeah, it's the sniper, the ship, the strike, and
and the strike. Yeah, sorry.
PvP map. There's a new PvP map.
That's so it practically just becomes Destiny 1 again. That's all it is. Pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, basically what we got for the Taken King, I believe.
Yeah. It was even the same thing.
Strike and everything. Yeah.
Well, we had a strike. We had a strike in year 1. We had 2 in year 1 actually. Scion Flares and Undying Mine are both PlayStation exclusives. for all of year one.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, it's just pretty much be the exact same thing.
Same system.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for people on Xbox and especially the new PC crowd getting locked out of stuff like that for a whole year. We know that.
Blame Microsoft.
Well. Blame Microsoft. Why blame Microsoft? I don't know.
Their fault.
But what about PC? PC isn't really their fault.
Windows, they have a contract with Microsoft. They are owned by the same company.
It's not all PCs, but can you play Destiny on the Mac?
No, I don't think so.
Is it just like
No, I think so.
You can.
Because, I think it's just PC.
I guess it's it's old. I think it's or dead. It's white. Easy. Never mind.
No, it's not.
No, I think it is. Because of it being on Blizzard. Now that I think about it, I forgot it wasn't.
Yeah.
I call it. It wasn't like a Windows exclusive thing, which is smart. But yeah. So continue on the topic of just new stuff. Actually, no. Continue on the topic of exclusives. This week at Bungie, so the 12 this week, has a couple of achievements and goals for us year one, I guess, OG Destiny players to achieve. I didn't actually get a chance to read the full list. I know one of them was the Grimoire system, so if you hit 5k Grimoire...
Yeah, it's 5k Grimoire, and then basically all the other ones are, did you buy the expansion and did you do a Moment of Triumph? That's what they all are. They have the Laurel thing for year one, and if you did a Moment of Triumph for year one, then they have, I think it was Slayer of Oryx. You have to have the Taken King, and you have to do a Moment of Triumph for year two. Okay. Then they also have like the Young Wolf, which is get rank 2 in the Age of Triumph book, and have Rise of Iron, obviously. Then there was Saladin's Pride, where you had to complete the Age of Triumph book, get to rank 7.
The Rise of Iron book, I mean? Or this
yeah, no, the Age of Triumph.
Okay. Why would Saladin's Pride be that? What the fuck?
I thought that was weird too.
What the hell?
Well, apparently it's being Saladin's Pride is a step up from being a Young Wolf, so that's why I'm guessing they went with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So basically it kind of gave us a glimpse on what the new emblem system is like, what emblems kind of look like in D2, which is basically when you're in your character menu thing, like, when you go into your inventory and you're looking at your character's equipment and stuff, now your emblem is going to look like a banner across your UI. So instead of having that box in the corner like it is right now, where you have your emblem, now that whole thing where your inventory, character, and settings are, that will be where your emblem is. It's going to be a banner across that whole blank thing.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
That's more of the customization.
Yeah, I think it's really cool just getting stuff. And they even alluded to apparently more stuff for us from being year one, but they're not going to talk about it. They're going to have us, find it in the game and everything.
Or they may not have actually come to a conclusion of what it would be yet. It's also
well, I think, honestly, what I think is, I don't think it's like any more items or anything, or maybe if it is, it'll be like a shader at most. But I think what it is going to be like maybe story beats or something. Like, they'll recognize that since they're using data from year one, from our characters from year one, it might affect like maybe dialogue a little bit.
That should be cool.
Especially since they alluded to that they have like a new little simple dialogue system. They might put something in there for us being year one.
That's actually really fun. Speaking of dialogue, actually, good segue. One person that stands out to me, because there was a list that got leaked of like the voice actors and stuff. The Iron Guard. What do we think he is, and like what role do you think we have in the story? Actually, I think it's really simple. I think he's just the new Iron Banner guy. But do you think he's going to have an actual impact on the story?
Well, considering he's voiced, and if you looked at the list, he was grouped up with everybody else who's basically important, like the Vanguard and everything.
Yeah, Cade, the Ghost, and stuff. I don't know if the Ghost.
So I think he might be a little bit more major player than just the Iron Banner, like vendor voice. But honestly, what gets me intrigued by it is if he's the Iron Banner, what the hell happened to Saladin and Aphrodite?
Yeah.
Why is he this? Why do we have this new Iron Guard guy?
Or honestly, he could be old. Like, no, he could be a new guy, and they both could still be alive. But he could take over for Saladin in the sense of being our guide towards, I guess, Iron Lorddom. I guess that's a word. I don't know. I don't know. Like, he seems like he could be. I hope he's more important than just simply he's the Iron Banner voiceover guy, because it just seems kind of stupid to me. Holy crap, this thing is dead already. And I honestly, personally, like I said, I do hope it's more, just because it seems kind of like a waste.
I said, it just makes me curious on what is Saladin doing then, because the whole reason why Aphrodite took over was because Saladin was busy helping us with Siva. So, like I said, I wonder if the Cabal just blew up the Iron Peak. I wonder if we lose somebody.
Yeah. Please don't kill the only visual black man. Don't do it.
I'm sure there's others just under the helmet.
Yeah.
I can sense the river of time.
But okay, so we're going off from the trailer now. There's been so what you guys want to talk about next? The PvE news that came out, or more of the PvP news?
I'm a PvP guy. Lore. Okay, I was gonna say PvP, but so we'll do lore. Yeah. So lore. I'm not mad at their admitting they don't know what the darkness is, but I'm frustrated that, like, it seems like Destiny 1 didn't exist, almost. Like, the main antagonist in Destiny 1 was the darkness. We were protecting the Traveler from the darkness. Now, with them not knowing what darkness is, and us not actually finding out that it's, like, I mean, I guess there's two sides. I guess it makes sense in the sense that, like, okay, now that they have gotten away from the darkness being the antagonist, and now that we have the Cabal, I mean, it kind of makes sense that now we can focus solely on a single enemy instead of multiples. But that's weird. But I am kind of cheesed that all of that's for naught, especially the Stranger.
Yes, that irked me. The whole Stranger thing
confuses the shit out of me. That they feel like they tied it up perfectly. How? She leaves on a cliffhanger.
But you dug yourself a giant hole.
Luke Smith, like, Luke Smith,
that was a suicide comment. That was a suicide comment. There,
right? Because, like, Luke Smith, you're amazing, dude. If you ever watch this, you're amazing. Like, what you did for Destiny in general has been amazing. Taken King completely re-changed the game. Like, it changed it and it refreshed it. And what you're doing at Destiny 2 looks amazing. But that comment was asinine at best. There is no way in hell you tied up her story. She gives you a gun and disappears. That's called a cliffhanger, bro. She literally leaves and says there's more dangers out there and dips. What
she
the
says
hell
our
is
fight's
that?
not over. Key thing she says at the end, our fight's not over. Apparently hers is, but ours is.
Right? Like that.
That's
That's not tying up anything. That's just making us have more loose ends. And then on top of all of that, you give us a quest with Trader in Taken King that involves her gun and her phrase practically. No time to explain.
Yep.
Come on, dude. That's not tying anything up. That's just making more people mad, because now it's like, well, that's a sad out.
They need to do something. Even if they don't show her or have her come back, they need to have maybe another character or within just another storyline that they do. Maybe typically, I think the most likely would be the Osiris expansion that's supposed to come out for D2. Maybe just have something mention her or, you know, tie it up somehow, you know, be like, okay.
She has to be
because
mentioned.
originally, if you look back at, like, the majority of D1 story that's got scrapped, the Extra Stranger originally was supposed to be like Osiris's assistant or something.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
give us another cliffhanger.
Right.
Anything, please. Just don't cut her.
Yeah,
it's just so awkward to have someone that was so prominent in the story. Yes, D1's story was flawed and crazy and just you didn't know what the fuck was going on most of the time. But it's just awkward to think back at D1's story now in vanilla and, okay, that character that had all this mystery around there and kept appearing and was in multiple cutscenes doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
It basically, she could have not existed.
One thing I find funny is she's literally the last person to have a conversation with your character. Because your character stopped talking after that miraculously after she disappeared. Your character went mute. Right?
I hope your character's in you in D2. I really do. I hope with this dialogue system thing that
you can talk. Yeah, I hope it's you talking and not your ghost talking for you when you choose that option.
Even if we're not voiced, if we're just picking options and they're talking at us, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
like kind of like how Zelda and I think Pokemon even does it sometimes, where you actually respond. You're not voiced, but you still get to choose kind of a yes or no or just a sentence or whatever, even though you don't hear it fully voiced. It's there. You're saying something. You're not just having people talk at you. The being this awkward ass mute.
Yeah, that would help. That would be cool. I don't know. It's weird that. I guess we're getting off topic, but it's just weird that she kind of felt. Well, they felt that her story's done. To me, that's almost a slap in the face. To be honest.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Because like, there's so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential there. You see, you're dying. It's killing you. It's killing you.
Yeah, it's killing me just to have this.
Physically eating at you.
Yeah.
As for the darkness part, okay, the darkness part I'm actually okay with, because what it seems like they're doing is basically they're consolidating. They're basically just sitting down and finally saying, okay, we're actually gonna, make the darkness a thing, we're not gonna just generalize it like we did, which is, I always thought was weird how, the Cabal were counted as minions of the darkness, but they don't have anything to do with the darkness.
They hate every single other person.
So I always did think that was awkward. So I'm glad that they're separating that and making the darkness, I guess, like a thing now.
Oh yeah, me too. I do, honestly, I personally do like the idea. The idea is awesome.
And I honestly, I always thought once we got to Taken King, I honestly thought the Dark Heart in the garden or whatever in vanilla was just a blight. That's what it looks like. It looks like a blight. Like
True, it does kind of look like a blight.
So I never really thought of it as really that significant once we got the Taken King and everything. So I'm okay with them not really caring too much to go into what the Dark Heart was and all that.
Personally,
so I'm fine with them cutting that out.
Yeah, like for the darkness part, I am kind of happy. I'm more happy just because now it feels like we're gonna get. So like now we're focused on the Cabal. I feel like we're gonna be solely focused on a single enemy during DLCs and stuff now. They're gonna be actual explaining the our origins and stuff and the hate, why they hate the Traveler so much, why they hate us. I like that they're pretty much doing a backstory of it looks like every enemy that we're gonna be facing, which I think is really cool because it makes now. So now you can give us reasons why they all hate us, and then now they have the similar, I guess, enemy, and then that's the darkness, which like they'll be part of the darkness, and that's kind of gives you the backstory a bit more. Makes it a lot easier to explain it rather than, oh, by the way, there's just this evil thing. This is the darkness. Good luck. Even though they're all minions of the darkness, but they all fight each other and kill each other and all that, which I thought was really odd. So. No, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, this is the Extra Stranger part that I was like, about. And then as for his comments too about the Awoken and the Queen.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, okay, see, I kind of feel like people are kind of blowing that one a little bit out of proportion with the whole cosplay thing. I'm like, okay, so even if they don't bring the queen back, they obviously set up an Age of Triumph with the grimoire about Prince Aldrin, that apparently Prince Aldrin is doing something. So I think he's probably going to take over as like the main character for that instead of the queen. Like he's going to be the leader and everything, and she'll probably be like just voice instead or whatever, or something. So we may not see her again, but the whole Woken thing and Prince Aldrin storyline, I think they're still going to continue it. It might not be in vanilla D2, maybe an expansion. Or maybe not even till 3 when Destiny 3, but I think we'll get something eventually with them. I do still want them in D2 to like mention like why we don't go to the reef at all or go for the Woken for help after the Cabal like just wreck us though. I don't want that to just be a giant weird awkward plot hole.
Yeah, no, it can't be. That's too weird.
Especially since we have the Fallen in obviously. In D2, and they're tied with the Woken.
And then you see that, like in the original trailer they gave us, you see a Fallen with like a purple like scarf over his head. That's clearly a sign of a new. It's clearly a sign of a new faction. So that could be Prince Aldrin's faction. Although they are trying to kill us, that could be this. We haven't met like Aldrin yet, so then they're fighting us, and then we meet him, and it kind of stops it, which could be a possibility. But they do need to touch more. The Queen not being in it bugs me just because of how her story ended, but I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to introduce us to new characters. They're trying to make those new characters prominent, and then they'll slowly reintroduce the Queen, Eris, and all those people back in. Because even if, like, to be honest, even if like Eris and the Queen were in the game, and we got a bunch of new characters, would anyone really care about the new characters? Probably not. Like they probably be like, you'd care, but like
the newcomers will.
Yeah, the newcomers would. Yeah, but like the people who play, like us who played it, we would attach more to Eris and the Queen and their stories more than we would care much about the new people's stories. Not that we wouldn't care about them, but like we would focus a lot more on the people we know because like we've known them for 3 years. And we've been through a lot with those characters. So like I can understand why they're cutting them for now. We don't know if they're fully cut because we don't know everything, but I
think Eris is going to come back. I'm not worried about Eris being gone forever. I think she'll come back if they decide to go back to Hive stuff, then she'll come back. Probably when they bring back the darkness as whatever their plan is for it.
Yeah.
She'll probably feature a lot into that since she seems to be the closest to it, I guess.
Or even the Spring one.
But yeah, so the comments was a little bracing, but... And then it comes on the heels of the whole Grimoire shenanigans that we talked about before.
Yeah.
Too. So that just, I guess, amplified it. But overall, I'm fine with it. Just a little upset about the Extra Stranger part. But the whole rebranding the darkness I think is fine. I think that's a good way forward. Like, even when you die now, instead of it saying the darkness consumes you in D2, apparently it says your light fades now instead. Like, they went that deep into taking out, like, darkness terms like that.
My bad, I'm muted, so I was dying on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, man.
It's okay, I know you're upset, Shax, about the
Yeah, it's just, it's killing me slowly.
Good. Should be.
He is hunting you.
Okay, but yeah. Is there any other PvE news besides the lore part?
Well, I guess the Archstrider like build, like the what the hell is it called? Like the class setup or whatever. That's a bit PvE.
Okay, well, yeah, if we're gonna go talk about that, I'm gonna reiterate that I'm a bit worried about it being effective in PvE when it comes to like bosses.
Yeah, oh, he's stuck. Okay, way to go, bro. No, I am afraid, but until we know exactly how like raid bosses and strike bosses perform in D2. I'm gonna hold my speculation. If they perform like they do in D1, Arcstrider will literally be useless, especially since it has no.
It's basically gonna be like what happened with Blade Dancer. No one's gonna use it in the raid.
It's gonna have, especially with it not having invisibility, it's going to be useless. There's gonna be absolutely no point using it, and you're just gonna be like, well, this is another wasted subclass. So I do hope that like PvP is gonna be a monster, but PvE I do hope that like they kind of make the bosses not instantly one-bang you. Would be great.
It's just something I've noticed a lot in like MMOs in general is you have to be careful when you do strictly melee stuff. When you restrict somebody's range of, I guess, attack.
True.
You have to give them something. Or even not even just skill-wise, just in the mechanics of a boss or a fight itself, you have to give them something.
The thing is, where I think it could be useful though, like this could be a possibility. So, two options I think it could have is one, when you're fighting a boss, there could be a never-ending like stream of ads, which I think would benefit it a lot. So if there's like just constantly ads, you can be a Arcstrider and do really well with just having him or the Arcstrider just run around and kill everything. I think it benefits from that. Another thing I think it would benefit from would be if like a boss, like a raid boss for instance, requires a lot of damage in a really fast time. Arcstrider can give you that. If you can, like, say for instance, you stun the boss and you have to do as much damage to it as possible
they
in
do
that
like a stun mechanic, kind of like Axis, and where you could just, you know, you have a certain amount of time where you could just wail on the boss and do anything, and they're not gonna just like, you know, shit on your life.
And Arcstrider I think would be perfect there, like absolutely perfect, because they can just sit there and pop their super and just go ham and have fun. But if bosses don't have a mechanic like that, like we said earlier, Arcstrider is probably going to be useless. Especially in a raid. And then a golden gun is going to be good, but like, is it good? It's going to almost make hunters obsolete. Not obsolete in PvP, but they're not going to be that great.
They're basically going to be what happened to warlocks in D1, honestly. That's basically what
they don't help anyone besides themselves. That's pretty much what hunters are going to be.
Because if you look at their class abilities, the dodge, and it helps them survive, but it doesn't help your team. And you want stuff that helps your team when you're in the raid. That's why, you know, warlocks were kind of like whatever, but in a raid you always want to make sure you always have titans. If you don't have at least 2 titans, it's like, you know, you start to, you get concerned.
It gets tough,
if you don't have hunters for tether, you get concerned. But if you don't have a warlock, you're like, oh, okay, we'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't really matter at all.
That's why I feel like I'm worried that might happen to hunters, especially now. Let's say our worst fears for Arcstrider are right. You know, that is not that useful because it's melee, and you can't really melee bosses. What made Gunslinger kind of at least okay in D1 was Celestial Nighthawk. With Celestial Nighthawk being gone, you know what does that mean for Gunslinger in those situations?
Yeah.
So it
is concerning. Yeah, I genuinely am concerned.
Especially, you know, when everybody wants to do... And another thing that concerns me is I hope Titans don't get pigeonholed into Sentinel for raids and stuff because of Bubble.
Well, yeah. The Striker, now that it's roaming, and since its melee is, like, still bonkers and extremely powerful, I can still see it being useful because you can do some damage up close as a striker. But again, the bubble and the sentinel thing, it would make sense that
useful for your team. That's gonna be the issue.
Again, if they build them great, it can be 2, 2, and 2. If you have 2, 2, and 2 of each subclass, you should be able to have like the perfect synergy and be fine. But again, if Knights, oh my god, if Arcstrider is terrible, then you're gonna have 2 Gunslingers. If Striker's terrible, like in PvE almost, you're gonna have 2 Sentinels. And I like you said, I do hope it's not just us pigeonholed into just a certain setup. I kind of hope like raids now and PvE in general, like you can build your character how you want, And which they said they are focusing more on is more you control how your character plays and looks and the loadout and all that stuff. So like I do hope they hold true to that. So like you can use a striker in a raid and get away with it. When was the last time somebody even used striker in a raid? Like it's been a long time. It's
yep. Basically anything that isn't Defender, Sunsinger, and Night Stalker isn't as effective.
It doesn't get a lot of use. Like a Sunbreaker can get a lot of use because of its melee and because of its super, and depending on the boss, the sunspots and all that stuff. And same thing with the Stormcaller for ad duty. But outside of that, yeah, it's and then Gunslinger I guess for its lesser Nighthawk. But then that's rare. That's only certain bosses and certain occasions. And even then, if you do pick those subclasses, you need to still have one Night Stalker, one Bubble, one Sunsinger to counter those other ones. So kind of just like, eh. So yeah, I do hope that we're not pigeonholed to do, like you said, just those 3 classes, because I won't be happy. I personally will be kind of ticked, because just like I'm all for the team, I'm all for helping the team, but I do like being able to go out and
you like being able to do what you want.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I also like in raids, I like being like ad control, or I like being the guy that's just like, let me deal with this, you guys do that.
I would run Stormcaller more in D1 and raids if I didn't feel bad when I died that, oh, I could have been a self-res and I died on the team, you know? I always feel guilty if I'm not that, so that's why I always I feel like I'm obligated to be a Sunsinger. Because I feel like if I died, then that's on me hurting my team for no reason, you know?
Yep.
One thing I can say though is at least I'm not worried about that for Warlocks though, because we have the Rift no matter what class we are, so I don't think that's really gonna affect Warlocks as much.
The Rift is gonna be useful. And we still don't know what Nova Bomb does.
Yeah.
So Nova Bomb could be very useful in PvE as well still, so we don't know what it does, so yeah.
I mean, if you go along with the theme they've been doing, they've been making every super a roaming super, so I think what they might do for Nova Bomb is basically kind of make it like Tether, like Quiver, where it's like 3 shots or something like that, or you can have more than 1 shot. More than 1 Nova Bombs, and of course they'll probably reduce the range, kind of like they did with Fist of Havoc, you know, make it smaller, but you have more of it, so you can actually move around with it, and it's not just like a one-off.
Yeah, it looks like there's like options to have like a big one or small ones and all that stuff, because like, different videos you've seen like either a normal Nova Bomb and you saw like a little tiny one and like pieces of one travel like at an enemy, so like it looks like it has options, which again that could be useful in I
find it interesting that it's been the most like hidden class, you know, out of all the stuff they've been showing for AD.
That's the only one we haven't seen.
Like the only times we've seen it is like legit 2 like maybe 3-second clips out of trailers.
Yeah, I think that's 3 seconds combined too, which is the one.
Yeah, one is him shooting a giant, like, Vex-looking Minotaur thing with a big-ass Nova Bomb that split into little ones. And then the other time we saw it was it throwing, like, what looked like an Axiom Bolt grenade at some Vex, and that's it.
Yep.
That's all we've seen of it. So, I wonder if it's going to be, like, some crazy change. That's why they haven't, you know, they've been working on it for so long, or they haven't
they haven't decided on exactly what to have as it's built,
because even though nobody's really gotten to play Sentinel, we've seen a lot of it.
Yeah, and they've confirmed the bubble's back. That was like one of the biggest questions was, is there going to be a bubble for it? And they've 100. Ow, you fucking asshole! They've 100% confirmed that the bubble's back. So that's pretty much answered everyone's question. Bubble's back, so that's all we care about. And then we knew self-res wasn't back for the Sunsinger or the Dawnblade, I guess. That was another question people had. That's been answered, so like there's not really... All thing we need to know now is what's up with Nova Bomb. That's pretty much it. Everything else we're aware of, so yeah, I hope it... it does need a bit of a change and a tweak for PvE purposes, so I do hope it's... So I do hope it does fit the roaming note, the roaming thing they've been going with. It would be
weird if that was like the only one that wasn't roaming. So I think it's definitely it may have an option to be a single one-off and not be roaming, but I think they'll definitely for sure have a roaming option.
Yeah,
that be its thing in general, because that'd just be really against what they've done to every other subclass, you know?
Yep.
Speaking on the whole raids thing, continuing on that, one bit of PvE news is that they're changing the raid death penalty.
Yes,
From it
that's
not being not revised in hard mode.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm actually curious on what that equates to. Like, what does a death penalty look like? Oh my god, I'm actually very curious because I don't. There's so many options. Like, it could be like a stat reduction. It could be actually no, there's a stat reduction. It could be like your revive timer goes higher and higher and higher each time you die. There's options, so I'm actually really curious as to what they could fully decide.
I think, honestly, if I had to take a speculative guess, I think the most likely would be something to do with Enrage. Something to do with bosses in Rage.
Oh, timers. Kind of like, what's his nuts?
Golgoroth.
Golgoroth, yeah. Yeah, that would make
like
sense.
Golgoroth, where, like, if you have a certain number of deaths, then, the boss enrages. So that's basically a wipe. Or maybe, the boss gets stronger, maybe, every time someone dies on your team.
That would be fucked.
So, like, they get either health back, or maybe they do more damage.
Yeah, like they feed off your life or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be cool, actually. It would suck, but it would be cool.
Yeah. But it'll keep everybody in the game, and it'll also keep people to still want to, stay alive and not die. What? Well, that was weird. That was so weird. Did anybody else see him get stuck on there?
Yeah. My first sun charge missed, and I was like, wait, what the fuck?
But yeah, that's my guess for it. What about you, McCoy? You've been quiet as usual.
Yeah, you've been quiet. Sorry, we talk a lot.
No, it's all good. All I have is mainly agreement for that. Yeah, it's kind of weird to see. I feel like they wouldn't stray too far from the our normal expectations of raid bosses. I feel like they want to make it to where death penalties are different, so maybe they might shy away from doing nerfs like where you have to nerf, or just make the boss harder, make it harder to do. Or I don't mean like nerfs, I mean like wipes rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, if it takes too long, they get an enrage, like what you were saying, Abyssal, and instead of giving you a situation where your team basically has to wipe, maybe give something that's a little bit more unfavorable, but still it's possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get what you're saying. I'm just trying to think of any other examples of deaths in other MMOs. And mostly the only thing that comes up is either mechanics where if a certain people die, they get a buff in WoW or something, or enrage timers are usually always a thing.
One thing that because Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, keep the boss. You only wipe if the boss wipes you himself, not he enrages. But he kills everyone. Obviously, it's a wipe. But if one person dies, you can keep going in the raid. I think that's more of what he was saying. One thing that Elder Scrolls Online does, if you die, you get a stat reduction. A certain stat gets reduced for a certain amount of time. I think with Destiny only having the armor, agility, and recovery, that could be a thing. You die, you lose +2 armor for the time being, or +2 recovery or whatever. You lose that bonus. So now it makes it tougher. I've never
really been a fan of the stat thing.
Oh, me neither.
Warcraft does something similar, where basically, because in Warcraft, your armor has durability. So if you die a lot, it's that repair bill starts racking up.
Yep.
And also, not so much now, I believe, but I remember back in the day too, res sickness was a big thing too in WoW. That would really fuck you up because you lost 10% of everything on your stats.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about RPGs for Dragon Age Origins, when you die, if your character fainted when they got up, they had an injury.
Wounds, yeah.
They had an injury, and they were it reduced certain stat or something, which was terrible, but that's an option. But I think
injury kits.
Right? I had so many of those. Oh my goodness. I made sure I
Nah,
like
dude,
wrecked
that one
those stuff.
DLC that was actually like made to be hard, where you went to that like dwarven bag cave or whatever.
Oh
That thing,
yeah,
the
that thing
spirits. It's fucking
sucked.
ridiculous.
That
Jesus
was
Christ,
terrible.
that was
Yeah.
dumb.
And one of the trophies is you had to kill that thing on hard. That was so shit.
I
I
did that.
hated
Actually,
that.
did it.
I did
I did
too.
it. It
I
took
just
me
hated
forever,
it.
but I did it.
I hated that thing so
It
much.
took me forever, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
I was cheesing the fuck out of it. I had to. I think I got stuck and I was like, oh my
It
god,
was
this is the
super cool
time.
getting a Bronto as a companion.
Yeah. I wish it was like something you could have summoned.
Bronto.
Yeah, I wish it was something you could summon yourself. Off topic though.
Yeah.
But okay, so now that we're done, I guess somewhat done with the PvE aspect.
Yeah.
The PvP things that some people are mad about, I'm so-so. The no rumble thing, I'm impartial to it. I'm one of those few PvP players who actually don't like rumble. I like 1v1s, I love sweats, I love all of that. I just don't like rumble and the concept of it. Every man for himself is good, but I feel like the game mode, it's too big. Having 6 people go at it to me is a little much. If it was like 3 or even 4, I'd be perfectly fine with it.
Well,
but
that's what I had originally assumed it was gonna be, since they were making everything 4v4. I thought we would obviously still have rumble, but it would just be like 4 and 6 people.
Yeah, I honestly would have been cool with that. 4v4 rumble would have been fine, or 4-man rumble would have been fine, because then it's less people, that's bullshit. I just like 6s because depending on the map, you can have people who camp and hide and wait for you to get weak, and then pick you off or pick off your kill, and then just rinse and repeat. And it gets really, really annoying. And the scoring system in rumble is also kind of shit. Which is why I just always was not very fan of it. But that part, I am, like I said, I'm impartial on. It makes sense. The one reason I think it makes sense is because we still don't know what that second competitive game mode is going to be. So until we know what it is, we can't really be like, I hate Destiny 2 PvP, or I like it, because we have no idea what to expect. Go ahead, because I knew you were going to say something.
I'm kind of the more opposite mind, where I saw what Rumble's purpose was. Rumble is a great way to teach people to practice their 1v1s, basically practice their own skills. Practice, and people will a lot of times go in and just practice a certain thing they want to practice. Like, for example, aim. You would go into Rumble and you don't have to worry about teammates, and you're just focused on your skill set, and working on your skill set, so you can win those 1v1 engagements that sometimes happen and that you have to win in a team-based things like trials or etc. Also, it was just nice to go in if none of your friends were on and you were just you wanted to go into something solo. You could go into Rumble. Now you're forced to play with randoms, which, as we all know, Skirmish being the big person there. Yeah. That sometimes can be a very bad experience, playing with people you can't communicate with at all. And
well, you can choose to. You just choose not to. Now, there is game chat, but yeah, game chat.
Who has used the
game chat can be
cancerous,
bad. Especially in MMOs. I've had experience in them. MMO game chats are or proximity chats. They can
be toxic.
They can be disgusting.
And even if they're not toxic, the quality is horrible.
Yeah,
You hear the sound compared to how we are in party chat to how we would be talking in game chat. It's a big difference.
Oh my god.
The quality of game
chat. Oh
yeah,
it falls off hard, and I got pooped on. But no, it falls off like big time. Yeah. Like there's echoes, picks up almost every background noise. It's pretty shit.
And honestly, I think what made the blow of losing Rumble worse was leading into the other thing of not having private matches or custom games at launch. I think that's what made losing Rumble worse. Because even if we lost Rumble, we were like, okay, we could just, do that kind of stuff in private matches for custom games. But since we're not having that at launch either, that kind of made it worse.
Yeah, I can see that. Got my face
do you have anything to say about the loss of Rumble?
The loss of I was never really a fan of it. I mean, it was always back when I played. I think the last time I had a Rumble match was year 2, it's always been kind of the casual kind of thing. You just go and kill people, never really expecting. I mean, you get some training there, like what you were saying, how it's good to like parry for whatever, but really it's hard to be competitive when there's 6 people on a small map and everybody's killing someone or you're always in crossfire.
Well, that's actually the opposite of what Rumble turned into. Actually, Rumble's like one of the sweatiest playlists.
Yeah, Rumble's really sweaty. Rumble's really
so one of the most competitive ones, actually.
I guess I can only count it
I
as
learned that the
casual
hard way
because
trying to migrate more.
If you hate the meta, which a lot of people do, you'll hate Rumble now, because it's just sidearms and icebreakers up a fucking ass, which is annoying as shit.
I can't help but play it casually because I'm not good enough to play competitive. At least with Rumble.
I don't know, I just felt like we shouldn't be... With a sequel, you should get more, not lose. You know what I mean? Stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we should be getting more things, not having stuff we already had taken away.
I get that, but in Destiny's case, less is more, especially for PvP. That's why they reduced it already once. For Age of Triumph, they reduced like how many options you have in a week.
I was fine with that.
I just think they're going a certain direction, so I understand it. They're going a certain direction, and they're doing these game modes because when you do like, for instance, if you do like what do they call, like esports and stuff, Rumble's not one of the options. So what they're doing now is they're forcing you to play those competitive game modes. But when it comes to esports and stuff like that, MLG, it's going to be either what the fuck's it called? Countdown or whatever the new game mode is. So it's kind of, I get it. I'm not a solo supporter of it, but that's a different thing. The biggest
I think that's honestly the problem with Bungie. Sorry, I think that's just the problem with Bungie's message. Is I feel like Bungie goes half-seas on everything because, like you said, it seems like, and they've even kind of said it themselves, their direction for PvP they want to go is competitive. That's why it's 4v4 now, and that's why they're making a kind of competitive playlist and everything. But then at the same time, they're taking away private matches. So how are people going to do tournaments?
I think they're taking them away. I think it's just it's not coming out at launch. So it will be a thing, but I just think it's going to take some time, which makes sense. Like, it needs to take time. They did
say they wanted to work with the system. Like, they wanted to test and see, like, make sure it was at balance and everything. I think that they're not going to get rid of it. I think they'll introduce it, but only when the time is right. You know?
Yeah.
When they're confident that everything.
I think it'll come out when PC releases. It seems like the logical time for it to come out is when they release it on PC. And then
I hope so, because it'll really suck to have to wait as long as we did to get it originally.
Yeah, another year, 2 years, I guess.
Just with Bungie's history with updates, they're not the most expedient people when it comes with updates. Not just you know, weapon balance and everything, as we've seen before. It's taken months. Yeah. But yeah, they did not say not at launch, so hopefully we do get it sooner than later. But not only just private matches, but the other thing that is a good segue to, if they want to have like all this competitiveness, why aren't we getting a ranked mode?
Yeah, I don't like that.
That seems contradictory too, along with taking away that. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I was. It's just been on my mind. If they said that, you know, they wasn't going to be introduced at launch, the ranked system, and you know, kind of disappointing. But I want to submit this. If there was any smart time to do it, it would be to have a rank system. You know, at least have decided if they're going to do it or not before PC comes out. That way, if they to do like the rank system on, like, let's say PC, for example, they're working with Blizzard, who's also managing Overwatch and their rank. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be much smarter to at least have something by the time.
Well, that's what's concerning, because the PC crowd is gonna critique the shit out of that, of having peer-to-peer connection still, of not having any ranked mode, of not having private or custom games. The PC crowd is used to stuff like, example for Blizzard, Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah.
Which has all of those things.
I think one thing that's going to be going for Bungie is that, with PC especially, is a lot of their PC crowd is just going to be their console users going to PC. which is not necessarily a bad thing. You're gonna have a lot of people who buy the console version and then they're gonna switch over to PC and see how it is on PC. I know personally, when of course things are right, I'm gonna do it myself. When I get my computer built up and stuff, I'm gonna do it myself just to try it because it looks amazing. It looks great in 60 FPS. And then they're hoping it goes from word of mouth there, because given what like the rep that they have right now, and given what people know about Bungie, they're not gonna, like, especially with the peer-to-peer connection, all that crap, PC players aren't gonna want to touch the game. They're like, I think I'm good. I'll stick to Overwatch. Destiny can keep their, unless they like the PvE aspect of the game. More than likely not, they're just gonna stick to other games and say, I'm cool on Destiny.
And all that,
yeah, exactly. They're like, especially with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds being PC and now Xbox for now. It might come to PS4 later, but that's neither here nor there. But they have other PvP options that have ranked modes, which are better than Destiny. Having a ranked mode for some PC players is really important. It's make or break. That's why they play. They play to get better. They play to prove that they are the best, which I sound like Ash Ketchum for Pokemon, but still, they prove, they do it to sound like the best.
And no one ever was.
Right? But yeah, so the PC. Oh my god, no.
Here we go.
Anyway, but the PC crowd's gonna be like, we're good. So, like, I think Destiny's crowd is gonna be more, like I said, console players, especially like the big YouTubers and stuff. They're gonna go to PC. They're gonna play on console as well, but they will use PC and see just how PC actually fully runs, which is what they're going. And they're hoping that if their streamers like it, they're gonna spread the word of mouth, and then that's how things go. That's how a lot of businesses succeed, with word of mouth. So, like, it could work that way. The rank system, though, I get back to the topic. Me personally, I like it and I hate it. I like it. I like not having it because I don't need to know. Like, this sounds weird, but I don't. Some people don't like to know how bad they are. If that makes. They don't want to know that they're ranked 2,000,005 out of 2,000,006 people. They don't want to know that. They don't want to see.
I don't want to know that for sure.
Exactly. Right. They don't want to constantly have that reminder pop up when they go into Crucible that they know they are bad. They don't want to see that. But again, ranked mode is kind of, you go in and you have a kind of, like, you go into ranked mode with the purpose of getting better and improving where you're at. So again, it has two sides to it. The reasons I hate it is because how am I going to know I am better than, quote unquote, a Luminosity or a Triple Wreck or any of those big streamers that play a certain game? How am I going to know I'm better than, besides just stats? Because again, stats lie. What I mean by stats lie, like KD ratio, terrible. Your ELO in trials lies. The MMR, which is the new thing now, is kind of meh, but it's still not the best. Because there are people who have crazy high MMRs and ELOs, cough, cough, beggar, who aren't the best PvP players. They just play with really, really good players, and that boosts the hell out of your stats. So, I think a ranked mode and a ranking system would help me actually fully know I'm better than Triple Wreck. I'm better than Luminosity. I'm better than. So I personally would want to see it, but at the same time, like I said, people don't want to know how bad they are, because it is kind of like almost a constant slap in the face. Oh, look, you're, like I said, make 2,000,005.
Well, then, see, but that's the whole point of having a rank mode, though, is if you care about that stuff, you play in that mode. If you don't, and you don't want to see that, then you play in the casual mode. That's the whole point of the separation. I think that's one of the big problems that we have right now in Crucible, is because there isn't that separation. That's when people get upset when they go into Crucible and it's sweaty as hell, because those people don't have anywhere else to go. We're mixed together. We have casual and sweaty people together, and that's why, you know, people get upset, because they just want to come home and chill and just play a game, and you can't do that because everybody's tryhard 24/7.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I guess their counter to that, though, is they have the competitive game mode and they have the casual game mode. If you go into the competitive game mode thinking you're going to just chill, that's on you. That is your L to home. That's not them. That's on you, 100%. So I think that's their counter to no ranked mode, is they have a competitive mode and they have a casual mode. You can go into casual mode and chill. There will be the asshole in casual mode who goes full on sweat. There will be that guy, and he'll get off on just shitting on your life. Yeah, he'll get that exactly. He will 100% get off on shitting on your life.
That leads to my other concern about not having ranked mode, because the other key thing about having a ranked mode is you get rewarded depending on your rank. If you have like seasons with a ranked mode, if you don't have some type of incentive for their competitive playlist or whatever, then it's not going to matter.
Yeah,
nobody's going to care.
Honestly, I feel like they should.
Gonna care.
People aren't going to like this, but Destiny's all about loot. People love loot. If they're going to separate them like that and they're going to make it so like there's no incentive for competitive mode, they should at least add, like, for instance, so like when you play PvP now, you have like the year 3 Crucible drops and the year 2 Crucible drops, i.e. you have like the Ash Factory versus the Steel Oracle. They should have the same thing for ranked, for casual and for competitive. You play casual, you get certain weapons that aren't really that great. If you play competitive, you can get drops of amazing weapons. Or you can even do a ranking system, so you're a certain rank, like, you don't have this Crucible rep, you can have like a rep system, so you get a certain amount of rep in competitive, so you can work that towards whatever and buy a gun or whatever. Something
something
different.
That's the ranked mode. That's the other good part about having a ranked mode, is just being able to reward, because that's like good example, Overwatch. That's what Overwatch does, and that's what like stuff like Hearthstone does with ladder, with ranked ladder. You know, depending on where you're at the end of the month, you get rewarded. You know, you get a box or loot depending on what rank you're at the end of the season before it resets. And I feel like that's kind of a miscommunication with Bungie, especially because of Luke Smith's comment on what he said why he thinks people want a ranked mode, which is people just want to show off their prowess, which is not the reason why people want a ranked mode.
That's not, honestly, me personally.
No one wants an emblem.
Not exactly. Not everyone wants to shit on people. People do that now, which is the fucking thing. People want to show off their prowess. They do that now. Oh look, I'm flawless. Look at me. Here's my flawless emblem. That's them showing off now. That's what that is. That's 100% what it is. So why change? Like, why it doesn't make a difference in Destiny 2 or Destiny now? People are going to show off regardless. If there's a flawless emblem for Trials of the Nine or whatever it's called, people are going to use that. They're going to wear that emblem all the time, especially the first week that's out. Oh my god, that's going to all you're going to see in Crucible is that freaking emblem everywhere, which I'm cool with. But like, that's showing off. So why having a rank? Why do you think not having a rank mode or having a rank mode is going to change that? People are still going to be like, oh, look at me, my dick's bigger than yours because I have this. People are going to do that regardless. So like, why? Like, that logic to me makes absolutely no sense. It's lost on me. It just that does not work. That's not how that works. But yeah, I want it just because I want to know exactly how good I am. I want to get into the competitive scene.
People want to know how good they are. People want to actually get better and play against people who are their level or better, so that they themselves can, increase their skills.
Yep.
That's why people want a rank mode. They don't want to just to show off, because we can do that now. And obviously, we still want a rank mode, even though we can already do that, like you were saying.
Yeah,
so
emblems are a beautiful thing.
Is missing there.
Yeah, there's some logic that's just not connecting. Yeah, exactly. Like I just want to know, because I want to get into the competitive scene. I want to play competitive. I want to be able to go into the competitive scene, play, and all that, and just like compete with the best players. And how do I know I'm going against the best players all the time if I don't know how good they are? Your stats, like I said, your stats lie a lot, actually. They say numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, but stats in a video game, all the streamers say it. Stats mean nothing. Stats, I could catch you on a good day, I could catch you on a bad day. Catch you on a bad day. On a bad day, anyone can beat anybody. So, like, stats mean absolutely nothing in that sense. So, like, I need to know ranking-wise how good you are on a consistent basis in your rank and how good you are, so I can beat you and leapfrog your rank. That's why I want a rank mode. But it sucks that it's not going to be in Destiny, which just that bugs me.
I'm actually gonna suggest something. I think the person who actually put it the best was actually, if you catch, Datto put out a video about a rant, basically about the no rank thing. Yeah, about not having rank. And I think he basically put it the best way possible. That ranked mode can also give the Crucible in general a point. It could give the activity a point. It's not you just going through endless matches just getting loot. It actually can put a goal like I want to hit this rank or I want to get here.
Exactly.
You know? Not just I'm just gonna play, just spam Crucible matches and maybe I'll get something, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
We'll face on the goal as many times as it takes.
Because right now the only reason to play Crucible is to get better, and then there's Trials and Iron Banner. That's it. That's pretty much it. And it's just like, giving it a rank system gives it a meaning 24 hours a day. And it has, especially if you have like the seasons and all that stuff, it gives it like even more reason and sense to do it.
Yeah, it gives it replayability. It keeps people interested and engaged. It's not just you doing the same thing over and over again. You have a goal in mind.
Yep.
It might help, with the whole, population dips that sometimes we have during like content, drops.
Oh yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, like one thing I guess to kind of is they did say that Destiny 2 is gonna have more content, more frequent content, but we heard that with Rise of Iron, and frequent to them is like a month earlier. Congrats. We waited one less month to get content. That's, to me, is stupid. I don't.
So far, I think they're going off on the right foot. We're basically going back to year one where we have those 2 DLCs already to look forward to. So hopefully they keep up with that, and then also added to that, we're gonna have the whole live events too with that. So I think the combination of the two will do a lot better than what we had before, which was the separation of the two. We had year one, which was the expansions, and then we had the other 2 years where it was just live events, pretty much.
Yep.
So now having them both together will, I think, do a lot better for us, content-wise.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know, I just... With Destiny, how it is now, if Destiny 2 even, like, remotely mirrors Destiny 1 and there's no competitive mode, it will die faster than it can even, like, start, pretty much. It will die, especially with it being on PC. PC people don't play that shit. They don't have the patience. They don't care. If you don't give us content, fuck your game, I'm out. I will not play it again. That's what it is. So, like, they need to know that... Exactly, there's so many, especially in the multiplayer sense, especially because all of PC games mostly are multiplayer, and PvP especially and stuff like that. There's plenty of other options. They're not going to give a flying fuck about Destiny. If you do what you do and you give us the fucking something once every 3 fucking months or 4 months, people are gonna be like, yeah, okay, bye, I'm good. Nice try though. Nice idea. I don't care about it anymore. I'm done. That's 100% how they're gonna react. So like, if they're not gonna make this a ranked mode, I want something new for this game at least once a month. Something frequent. Something keep me playing the game, because if I'm just going to be doing the same old grind. I love Destiny, but we all know that game that is coming out that is probably going to give Destiny the biggest run for its money it's ever had to date.
Yep.
So if they pull that shit with BioWare that they're pulling with us now, goodbye.
BioWare is going to blow them out of the water.
BioWare will shit on Bungie. If it's their story, like how they write their stories and stuff, and it's their gameplay and all that, and how it looks with that open world concept, yeah, goodbye Destiny. That's if they're going to be doing what they're doing.
Mass Effect.
It's their original trilogy studio, just to clarify for everybody.
Yeah,
it's not the team that did Andromeda. This is the team that did the original trilogy. This is Edmonton. BioWare Edmonton, not Montreal.
Shout out to my city, Edmonton. You know, good job. Good job, guys. You're good for something, apparently. But no,
obviously he's biased.
A little bit. But no, it's Bungie. I feel like I said this in year 2 a lot, and in year 3. I feel like Bungie has gotten comfortable that there's been nothing and no one to compete with, because Overwatch, when it came out, was supposed to compete with it, and it did. It's taken a lot of people, but people play both games. They go back and forth still. It hasn't fully taken Destiny's crowd. It's taken some people, but not all of them.
Well, I don't think Overwatch was it. I think people mostly thought Division was
Division
more.
Was supposed to do as well. I was getting into that too. Division was supposed to be like, oh my god, Destiny's gonna suck.
Because Overwatch was just clearly PvP.
Yeah.
So.
And then Ubisoft pulled an Ubisoft move, and Yeah.
Ubisoft.
Just fucking Ubisoft
What
just should
happened to you?
have.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the Division is a joke, dude. It's such. And what makes it so mad is like I had such high hopes for that game. It looks like the concept and the idea behind it was so
pulled
cool.
one of those things, which I really hope Anthem doesn't really happen to Anthem as much. It will probably happen a little bit to it, but I don't think nearly as much as Ubisoft. But that incident where you see a game at E3. And then by the time that thing comes out, it's completely different than what they show. I mean, you can even kind of look at Destiny. Look at when Destiny was shown off at E3. When Thunderlord dropped off of the fucking fallen, Kel thing. That never happens, ever.
That would be really cool.
And then even how the nodes look on the gun is completely different to how they actually came out on launch. So, it's just one of those things that tends to happen sometimes with a lot of games, especially when they're in development
not always
for
the better, which is
a lot of times it's not for the better, honestly.
Yeah. Most of the time, yeah, it definitely isn't. The only game
No Man's Sky, Division, couple others. I just can't.
A couple of games I've seen that have been delayed that have done good. Final Fantasy 15 did really good. Uncharted 4 was good. There's been some games that have been delayed that have been amazing. Resident Evil 7 was another one, came out, really good game. But again, it's not... the good doesn't outweigh the bad. Not even close. The bad, it's such a high percent of the games that get delayed and they get changed up that they are just complete shit from what they look like. And Anthem, I don't think is going to do that. BioWare tends to have their shit together. Especially since it's like the Edmonton team now, the people who actually pretty much made BioWare what it is with their Mass Effect trilogy. I feel like we're in good hands, but back to the point is Bungie hasn't actually had a competitor. So they feel like any product they give us is fine, it's good enough. So I feel like if they continue and repeat what they've done with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, with Anthem coming out, that's a lot of your crowd and fan base gone. There's a lot. Most of the streamers are even covering the game now.
Yeah, competition is good.
It's good for everybody. Yeah, competition is amazing.
Competition is good for everybody.
I think they need it. I also think for them to get their shit together, I think they need it.
Yeah, and also we have the thing. We keep hearing rumors about Borderlands. Too.
Yeah.
The next Borderlands too.
Would be interesting.
So, depending on how they do that, how Gearbox, handles that.
Yeah.
That might even turn out to be competition if they go for more MMO.
Borderlands was
the original,
a fun game.
Honestly.
Yeah, it's a
like
funny
the original
game.
looter shooter.
Yeah.
For like consoles.
Just I personally played Borderlands. I didn't like it just because the watercolor thing always threw me off. But I have nothing bad against the game besides that. The game itself
the story is hilarious and it's wacky and the guns are crazy and it actually does it does more of a Diablo type loot system feel, which is really nice, which I kind of feel like Destiny should kind of do a little bit more, so that way you're kind of more excited when you get drops than now.
Yeah. Well, I missed the year one
crazy
drop rate.
competition. Yeah.
How exotic drop, because like year 3 of coins broke the game. That's a conversation that's obviously been beaten to the ground, but 3 of coins just, to me personally, it broke the game. There's no excitement in getting an exotic anymore, like at all. It's like, oh look, I got this, cool. The only ones you get excited for, which aren't 3 of coins, are the quest ones that like you have to work for, or like Icebreaker, which is tied solely to RNG. I think that's the only one actually that's tied solely to RNG is Icebreaker. Everyone else is either quest locked or it's quest locked or it's given to you from 0 coins. You can drop from that. Or I guess Boolean Gem now which drops, but it's still a guaranteed drop, not a chance of dropping. I miss year one's how getting Gjallarhorn for the first time.
What Bungie wanted with their coins. They wanted to help out more casual players, the person who only has 2 hours to play a day or even a week to be able to still, get those kind of weapons and everything. And they even said it recently where they didn't like how a lot of people dropped off of Destiny 1, never got to get an exotic. And that's something that will not happen in D2. They've, quoted, they've said that, you'll play through DT's story and we're going to make sure that, you get an exotic. So I understand that aspect of it, but I felt like it shouldn't be a consumable item that gives you it kind of type thing. Yeah. I think it should be like that surprise. It should be like, I was just like doing this random thing and then just boom, oh my god, I got an exotic off of this creature, and it's memorable. It's a story. That you can share with your friends and everything. It's not like, I popped 3 coins and then I killed this boss Ultra and I got, exotic, because obviously you're gonna get exotic from, using 3 coins. It should be more of a surprise. Not the bullshit RNG where it took people like months to get Galahorn, or years to get Galahorn. It shouldn't be that excessive. It should be somewhere in the middle. You gotta find the middleman, the middle point in between the two, so that way there's not just hardcore people who get exotics. The casuals have a chance to get exotics too. But just that the experience of getting exotic is memorable. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be memorable. It needs to be like Year 1, which is this dropped from here, and I was like, oh my god, I was screaming in the chat and everything. The stories you always hear about Galahorn and etc. Stuff like that.
It's just like, it's like, oh look, I got a gun. Cool. I already have
Galahorn.
it. Yeah, right.
I think a part of that too is just, since the game is 3 years old, a lot of us got all the exotics already, or got most of them. So when we get a new exotic, we're not as excited because we're obviously aiming to get the new one they just released, because that's the only one we don't have. So I think just Destiny 2 being a fresh slate is just going to revitalize some of that on its own, because we don't know what all the exotics are, we don't know what they all do, and so I think that will help itself a little bit. But yeah, I definitely hope they just take out the middleman that's 3 coins and just like increase drop rates for it.
That's all they had to do, was just increase drop rates and RNG, make RNG more like relatable and easy, and not
kind of like how they did with Icebreaker. Icebreaker was cool. You could get it from a bounty. You're doing a bounty, it gives you a random weapon. Oh, it could be an exotic.
Yeah. Or I guess Thorn too technically is not it's RNG based as well this year still.
Yeah, but it's a bounty into a quest.
So many steps.
But quests are good too.
Oh, quests are fun. Yeah.
Honestly, that's actually one of the things I'm excited about when we start like a
new
D2
quest
together. Is not new quest, is out of the fire team, which one of us is gonna get an exotic first?
Oh yeah. That would be fun.
That thrill is coming back.
What?
Ooh boy, that thrill is coming back. The exotic thrill.
The exotic thrill. We can even
Watch
like take bets, do like a bet who gets exotic first. Let's say something in Discord.
Talk shit.
Yep.
Talk lots and shit.
Hell yeah. Watch them turn down the drop rates like all the way down to like nothing, just to get revenge for everybody.
Well, no, they specifically said that they liked what 3 coins did, but they understand people want the memories of like Galahorn, so they're aiming for the middleman. They just want to make clear that they want casual people to be able to get exotics, not just hardcore who do raids all the time.
Fuck the casual players.
You're gonna get angry comments there. People are gonna pitchfork you, pitchfork and torch.
Video games are life. You should not have a life outside of Destiny. Fuck that. Or in video games.
Oh yeah. Priorities, man. Priorities.
Right? God.
Same.
Oh man. So, is there any more things we missed? Or just Destiny in general?
Honestly, I think we're good. We've said a lot. We touched on the 12. Yeah, I think we're good actually, guys. We talked for a very long time. It's been a little over an hour and a half, almost, I believe. So yeah, we've done pretty good. Made it for lost time, because God knows we've been gone for 2 weeks. A lot has happened in between. And we're a day late, so we apologize for that. But yeah, this was fun. Good catching up. Good being on the podcast again, because Lord knows I missed it. Life had to happen though, but Yeah, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
good,
hopefully
guys.
we'll be back on schedule.
We should be
Yeah,
next week.
so,
I'm off next week, so yeah,
yeah.
we should be good. But yeah, I am Lord Chaps. Appreciate you watching. Follow me on Twitter. My handle is my name. Follow me on Twitch. Same thing. I'll stream eventually. And yeah, McCoy here. You can pitch your stuff.
My handle, you can find me on Twitch, master_McCoy. Just give me a look up. I'll be talking mad shit about Shaq, so you'll be good.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, fighting words.
Oh yeah. And he'll be watching me while I do it.
Yep. Dodger Bandits over and
This has
over.
been Abyssal. You can find me at Abyssal on Twitter. And if you want to watch me, I stream sometimes on Twitch at Abyssal2475.
Alright, this has been episode 4 of the Freehold Pub Podcast.
Info explosion.